Good morning, dear ones, and a very happy Wednesday to you. Short week this week, so I hope you're making every opportunity to love yourself more. And folks, do the hard work. When people speak about hard work, they're not only speaking about elbow grease and working your fingers to the bone. They're actually speaking about doing the hard work on yourself. And this is exactly what these little videos are about. They're about being able to do the hard work on yourself spiritually so that you can release all of the stuff that is holding you back from reaching your true potential. I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who was handed the tools last year to do all of this, didn't do the hard work, and is stuck in exactly the same position as they were last year. And in actual fact, it's even worse, because it's not that there's no progress, it's that there's a situation where the person is so stuck that they do not know how to get out of that well. So take these little pieces of these nuggets of information. It's not advice that I'm giving you. Basically, if you were working on a car, I would be handing you spanners and all of the other things that you need to fix a car. I'm not very good with that. If you were in a kitchen and you were baking, I'd be handing you a rolling pin, a food mixer, a whisk. And that's basically what we're doing here. We're baking the cake that is you. And sometimes what happens when we do bake cakes is we have flops, and then we understand why those flops occur. So let's look at all of these things as if they're tools to help us to create the best cake. You are going to, you're going to be taking tips from Gordon Ramsay on how he's cooking. I'm not saying I'm the Gordon Ramsay of this, but I can honestly tell you that there's a lot of experience that I've had myself where I've found all of this information actually does work. And I feel honestly that sometimes our experts are too far ahead of us, and we do not feel that we can honestly take, that's the celebrity person. It's never going to work for me. I'm here with you on ground level, telling you what has worked for me. These are the tools that has worked for me and for so many other people as well. This is not something new. This has happened and taken place over centuries. This information that I have is all at our fingertips. What I'm trying to do for you, what I am doing for you, Nike, just do it, is tying it up in a bow so that it can be presented in a way that's like when you're presented with a problem that seems insurmountable, that is as huge as an elephant. How do you deal with that problem? Well, just like you would eat an elephant, one bite at a time. One small bite at a time. If you're still biting and chewing, you're getting through the problem. And this is what these things are all about for you. So to continue and to stop waffling there, we are speaking about the solar plexus chakra at the moment. And I spoke to you yesterday with regards to the element of this particular chakra, which is fire. The sense is sight. We were speaking about the life lesson, which is self-esteem, self-confidence, the courage to take risks, to stand strong in your power, and the basic right to act and be an individual. And the demon or counterforce is, of course, shame. What do you feel ashamed of? Now, we all know there was a very famous scene from Game of Thrones with shame. Okay, do you see and understand when you look at that particular scene? Do you understand how it is everybody else who says that you must shame yourself? Now, I'm taking this from a slightly different perspective. Cersei did not feel shame until she was shamed, even though perhaps her acts were shameful. So we need to understand what we hold dear to ourselves, what we feel is part of who we are, part of our ego. And remember, I have actually mentioned the difference between ego and spirit, and the difference between the little devil and the little angel that sits on your shoulder. So when you have a balanced solar plexus chakra, Your balanced characteristics will show the following in your personality: being responsible, or the ability to be responsible for your own actions, for your own life. You are the only one that's responsible. Stop blaming everybody around you. That is just a piece of advice. Let's bring that back. You are responsible innately when your solar plexus chakra is in balance. You are reliable. You have a balanced and effective will. That means that you understand how willpower works and that you are able to use your willpower to stop doing things or to do something. Okay, just like when I have been speaking to a lot of Catholic people when they had to give something up for Lent here in Ireland, a lot of them are saying nowadays, instead of actually giving something up, take something up, do something different, do something that is going to encourage something better out of you. Okay, so having a balanced will, being able to actually say, I'm going to do this, and then sticking to it. So that is about your 40 days, taking some good habit, creating it, and then following it through. Another characteristic of a balanced chakra is good self-esteem, balanced ego strength. It's not just all about the ego and how I look to everybody and the image that I portray. Okay, it's about having the strength of your ego, but it being balanced with your spirituality. Warmth in personality is another characteristic. Confidence is another characteristic. Spontaneity, not having to control something all the time. Playfulness as well, being a little bit silly about certain things and maybe having a giggle innocently. A sense of humor, appropriate self-discipline, a sense of one's personal power, and the ability to meet challenges and follow them through. Okay, I'm going to go through those again because I think it's quite important. This particular chakra is, remember, between the age of 14 and 21. And when we go back to that time in our lives, a lot of us were not very confident about how we were seen by our peers and about our group of friends. And we might have been pushing back with our parents, because that is the time that we do push back and where we turn around and we say, no, I do not agree with certain things. There's a lot of clashes that might happen at that particular time in your life. And perhaps the only way that our parents managed to deal with us pushing back might have been shaming us and perhaps suppressing the ego as opposed to encouraging it, because there's a lot of teenagers who really, they're figuring out who they are and what they want in life. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go through again the balanced characteristics. Responsible, reliable. What is being reliable? It's not being wishy-washy. Being reliable is when you say you're going to do something, or that you stand for something, that you actually stand for that. Yes, as we go through life, we build our foundation, and our foundation of beliefs is actually a very, very strong one. And that foundation of beliefs should not change too much according to who you decide to live with. So let's say, for instance, you're living with your parents, and then you live with your partner. Your same fundamentals, those fundamentals are normally what attracts you to somebody else. So when you put yourself out there in the dating game, be honest about what your beliefs are. And if your beliefs are wishy-washy, in other words, they change and vary, you're never ever going to be able to. It's like the shifting sands of the desert. If you try and build a house on the shifting sands of the desert, it's never going to last. Having your own foundation and having a balanced foundation that you can build something on, that you don't change your beliefs according to whoever you're speaking to, is quite important. And that's being reliable, and it's actually you relying on your own beliefs. A lot of people will say to you, When you are in dire straits, fall back on your training. And it's exactly the same with the foundation of your beliefs. When you're not quite sure of where to go, when you are feeling vulnerable, when you are feeling like the world is falling down around you, you are still going to go to the core beliefs that you have. And if those core beliefs are like shifting sands of the desert, you have nowhere to go. So it's very, very important for the reliability of yourself, not that others only can rely on you, but that you can rely on you too. Okay? A balanced and effective will, good self-esteem, balanced ego strength, warmth in personality, confidence, spontaneity, playfulness, a sense of humor, appropriate self-discipline, a sense of one's personal power, and the ability to meet challenges and follow through on them. Okay, so that's enough for today. Tomorrow we're going to go through the traumas and abuses that could have been suffered during the time of our teenagerhood from 14 to 21. We're going to look at some of the deficiencies and excesses, and then I know we're a little bit of a day behind, but we'll get through all of this, and all of this information will be posted here for you. If you've got any questions, please direct message me. And dear ones, love yourselves unconditionally. You're beautiful beings. And remember the foundations of the 4 agreements and the 5 Reiki principles. Lots of love. Have a wonderful day. Mwah.